Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, did the Patriots make a mistake getting rid of one of Tom Brady's top receivers? Plus, Joel Klatt is on set to reveal some major surprises in his latest mock draft. And did Kevin Durant disrespect LeBron James? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. So, Joy, good morning, Skip. Nice dress.
Thank you.
Joy, before we get started today is the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, who was assassinated on this day 50 years ago at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. Dr. King he gets labeled as a civil rights leader. Dr. King was one of the greatest leaders in history, mostly important American history. And although a lot of what he dreamed and he had hoped America would be, some has come to fruition, we still have a lot of ground to cover. Things are better than what they were, but we still have a lot of work to do.
I'd say Martin Luther King paid the ultimate price for his protest. We've seen a lot of protests recently. This was the ultimate price. And for me, from my seat, he's right up there in impact on this country's future with Abraham Lincoln.
Yes. One of the great orators ever.
Yep.
Definitely of the 20th century.
Very well said, guys. Well, good morning, and let's get started. Let's start with a big move by the Patriots. New England shocked a lot of people yesterday when they traded Brandon Cooks to the Rams for the 23rd overall pick in the draft. Additional picks were also involved in the deal. In his one season with the Patriots, Cooks was second on the team in catches, receiving yards, and touchdown receptions. The Patriots now have 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks in the draft. So, Shannon, do you like the move for New England?
Skip, I'm going to have to answer it like this. Today, as I sit here, I do not like the move because I believe they got worse today than they were yesterday. It's hard for me to believe that they can select someone at 23 that's going to give them better production than what Brandon Cook did. See, Brandon Cook is a known commodity. We know what he'll do. 1,000 yards in receiving. Only Randy Moss has more before his 25th birthday.
Yeah.
Randy had 4. Brandon Cooks has 3. So we know he is a known commodity. 23rd, the 31st, well, the 23rd, the one they got from the Rams. We don't know the player that's going to select, and we don't know what he'll be. So 50% of the draft picks, turn out to be bust. Brandon Cooks is far from that. So we know what he is, Skip. But here's the thing. This is what the Patriots do. The Patriots have a number for whatever position you play. And if you go above that number, Skip, they're going to move on without you. Now, see, what has happened, and I fought Tom Brady. And I don't fault Tom Brady for a lot, but I fought him for this. And this is why, see, they love him, but they hate that he did this. Tom Brady has always taken less than market value for his position, Skip. And so Coach Belichick can always fall back on. If the greatest player in our franchise history, arguably the greatest player in NFL history, will play for less than market value, how does Brandon Cooks, how does any other player go to the Patriots and say, I want market value? But what it had now, tomorrow, I might feel differently. Skip, they got the tackle. They got debate to go big fish hunting now. Because they got 5 of the top 95 selections in this NFL draft. The Giants have made it abundantly clear what it would take for us to entertain an offer for Odell Beckham. Do they move these picks and go get a quarterback? If Tom Brady didn't like Jimmy Garoppolo, he's going to hate that move. So, as I sit here right now, Skip, I don't love it. Ask me tomorrow or 2 weeks from now when they do something with this debate that they have, then I might like it. But I think they're worse off today than they were yesterday.
Joy, I had a preconceived plan of attack. I'm about to scrap it because of one thing my partner just said that really ticked me off, and I did not see it coming.
What happened?
Did you just take a gratuitous shot at Tom Brady for taking a hometown discount to play for the Patriots?
No. Here's the thing. I don't have a problem if he does that, Skip. But what it does is set a chain of events in motion that everybody else must play for less money than what they're worth because he did it.
It's America. You can do whatever you want to do, and if you want to maximize your chances to win a Super Bowl for you, God bless you.
Yeah.
That's what Tom Brady keeps doing, a la Tim Duncan in San Antonio. I'll take less so we can have a better team around me.
If you don't mind me asking, what are they doing with the money? If they're not paying Tom, they're not paying Brandon Cooks, they're not paying this guy, they're not paying, what are they doing with the money? See, that's what Tom's saying.
And that's a very good question. And that is why, once again, I'm starting to smell a rat.
Stop it!
And his name is Bill Belichick. And I did it. I called him maybe a rat because this quote-unquote rat Belichick got ordered to trade Jimmy G at a point that he was ready to push Tom Brady into the backdoor sunset. And he responded by giving away Jimmy G to the 49ers for a mere second-round pick, which Belichick now has in his back pocket. And, by the way, he gave away the other quarterback, too.
100%.
He just gave him away. And then he did not play Malcolm Butler for a single snap in the
Will you ever forgive him for
Super
that?
Bowl. Well, meanwhile, Nick Foles, the guy you have no respect for, was hanging 41 on Belichick's defense, and it just felt a little sabotagey to me because clearly Bill got his wrist slapped by the owner, Robert Kraft, and Bill responded, in my view, by saying, okay, watch this. I won't play my best defensive player, the guy who played the most snaps on defense, Malcolm Butler, for the entire Super Bowl, and Tom, good luck to you. Let's see what you can do. And all Tom did was throw for a playoff game record 505 yards and put up 33 points, but it wasn't 42 points because Belichick was giving up 41. The genius Belichick gave up 41.
Yeah.
And so here we go again, and I'm with you. Brandon Cooks is a really good football player.
Yeah.
You know, you just look, he's a productive wideout. And again, I like what the Rams did. I can't love it because I thought Odell was going to be a Super Bowl here we come move if they pulled that one off, because it would create like Hollywood over the top momentum for the Rams, who have already made some big splashes in free agency. Obviously, Sue and Talib, Marcus Peters added to Wade Phillips' defense. But here we go with a Brandon Cooks because they lost Sammy Watkins, and Brandon Cooks is a better Sammy Watkins. He's just more productive, and he's more durable than Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, hard to believe a guy that size is more durable than Sammy Watkins, who's 6'2".
That is correct. But Odell would have arrived in Hollywood with more baggage than you could put in an airport limo, right?
Yep.
And so, again, our man Eric Dickerson, the Rambassador, is saying, man, I don't know about Odell. Do we really want to throw that volatility into our mix?
Right.
So, okay, I'm good with that because you got a really solid player who's durable, who hasn't missed a game for the last 3 years. And all of a sudden, even this move faults the Rams to me into the catbird seat in the NFC. I think they're the best team in the NFC. They should be favored now to go to the Super Bowl.
They're going for it. Now, I'm not ready to go sabotaging yet. Now, if you trade Gronk, then I might be on your line. I'm going to get caught with you and drive.
There are mixed reports about that.
Right.
Maybe, maybe not. Is Gronk on the trading block? Right. But if he does that, now again, if you can go get another Gronk, but you'd say that's impossible.
No,
there is no other Gronk, right?
No.
And obviously he's got his injury issues a la Sammy Watkins.
Right.
But if let's just say for hypotheticals, if you lose Gronk and then you don't replace Brandon Cooks and you force Tom Brady to come back with Julian Edelman and Malcolm Mitchell, who both missed all of last season with injuries,
right?
And Chris Hogan, who missed 7 games last year with a shoulder injury.
And that's what we know about Hogan, Skip.
Okay.
He's been productive since he's been in New England, but he's always knee.
Okay.
Always. And when the Patriots set a price, be it running back, wide receiver, no matter what the position, Skip, if you ask for $1 over that price, they move on without you. This is why Deion Lewis is not there, who is very productive. Amendola was one of their clutch receivers. He's not there because Coach Belichick says, this is where I'm going to go. Now, Amendola had taken pay cuts, the last 3 years?
Yeah.
Chandler Jones, he was going to he wanted market value. Now, he had that incident, but Chandler Jones has been nothing but unbelievable. You think they could have used Chandler Jones in the Super Bowl still? Could they have used a guy of that caliber? And that's what happens. Now, if they replace Brandon Cooks with an Odell Beckham, now what we've seen from the Patriots and how they do business, Skip, we've seen guys at other places be malcontents, be a problem, be it Randy Moss, be it Corey Dillon, be it Ocho Cinco, but when they go to this establishment, they are the model citizen, okay? And I don't think Odell would have a problem fitting in. Now, he might not like it. It's not L.A., it's not New York. No. And Odell has found out, Skip, I don't need to win to be Odell because I've had most of my greatest moments have come in losses, and they still shout my name. They still come to see me in pregame warm-up. So I can be me in a team sport He's found that he can be an individual without having team success and still reap the rewards of someone that's winning.
Okay? So, let's do the hypothetical. Would the Giants take the 23rd overall and the 31st overall, which Bill Belichick now has, straight up for Odell Beckham Jr.?
Yeah.
I think they would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now would Bill Belichick just rent him for 1 year and just go for broke?
No.
Okay, well then he might be foolish to acquire him because Odell is on record as saying he doesn't want top receiver money, he wants top quarterback money.
Well, he ain't getting that.
Okay, well, but that's what you're going to have to contend with. And by the way, Brandon Cooks wanted Sammy Watkins money, which was 3 years, $48 million with 30 guaranteed, which is sort of standard wide receiver fare now.
You see where the price is going for the wide receiver?
Okay, yeah.
It's skyrocketing.
Okay, so Belichick gets rid of Brandon Cooks the year before he's going to have to pay Brandon Cooks. Okay, I'm fine with that, but you got to pay somebody something. Yeah. You got to give Brady somebody who can catch it.
I mean, you're pinning an awful lot of hopes on a guy coming back off of ACLs. And I know, look, Julian Edelman has been unbelievable. Skip, he's not Jerry Rice.
So, Thank you. I've been trying to say that.
How do you get rid of Cooks and Amendola and you say, okay, well, Edelman's back. We good. Really?
Malcolm Mitchell's back. We good. No, you're not.
You don't. The injured, Skip, so you don't know. And it's normally the year after that the player returns to his old self. Now, you get the anomalies like Adrian Peterson tears his ACL in December and he comes back and rushes for almost 2,100 yards with MVP. That's an anomaly. Most players take a full year to recover, and then the second year, after the injury, they're better.
Okay, so once upon a time, Bill Belichick shocked me. He acquired Randy Moss.
Yes.
But he got him on the cheap. It's buy low, sell high, so he bought really low because he got him for a 4th-round pick from a Raiders team and an Al Davis who just were done with him because he had quit on the Raiders, so they were like...
Because didn't they give up a first to get him? I think they gave him a first to get Randy. Yeah.
Okay, so New England gives up a 4 to get him, and he goes in and history happened.
Right.
He catches 23 touchdown passes, still the record in the National Football League, and Brady threw what was then a record 50 touchdown passes. So they had an historic season that year, right? So that was the one time that Belichick went out and got a star, but he didn't have to pay much for the star. And then a year later, they paid Randy Moss, just mediocre receiver. Maybe it's because I'm going back 11 years, but they gave him $14 million the first year and then only $6.5 million the second year. Well, that's not going to break your bank.
No.
Like Odell, I don't know what you're going to have.
Odell, you're going to have to be somewhere around the Antonio Brown money. So you know what that
20?
Yeah, I think he got like almost 60 guaranteed.
All right.
So Odell's going to want at least that, maybe a little more. See, Coach Belichick has this thing. What he does, Skip, he'll like buy something, and you know he got it from the discount shop. He'll polish it up, and you know he paid less than what it's worth. But then he'll turn around and try to sell it to you for like $20 million. Like, hold on, I just saw you buy that at the discount at the thrift store.
Yep.
But that's what he does.
Yep.
Think about it. What he did with Brandon Cooks is that he rented him for a year and moved up 8 more spots because he gave us the 32nd round pick to acquire him, and he just traded him for the 23rd.
Yep.
So that's how he does business.
Okay, but that's like Los Angeles real estate. I know this market really well.
Yeah.
And you say, hey, right now we could sell our house for $6 million. And then you're going to do what? You got to go buy another house for $8 million,
exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so you got a sweet deal for Brandon Cooks. Well, you need another Brandon Cooks, right? For what? What are you going to?
Right.
How are you going to snap your fingers? Are you going to draft somebody at 23? Well, I don't know. I don't love any of these receivers, and I've looked hard at them.
No.
Kind of like DJ Moore. That would help Tom.
And when you look at the draft, Coach Belichick has not done good with the receiver.
No.
Chad Jackson, 2nd round pick, last of the year. Aaron Dobson.
He swung and missed a bunch.
And that's the thing. Because think about it. He traded for Amendola.
Yep.
He traded for Randy Moss. He traded for Wes Welker. If he thought
Edelman was a 7th round quarterback.
Exactly. If he thought he was any good, he'd have took him higher.
All right, so speaking of quarterbacks, this is where I'm going to be outraged. And this would not be Belichickian, but what if, as there's rampant speculation, that he packages up 23 and 31 in the first round and throws in that Garoppolo pick, which is the 43rd pick overall. That would add up in the old Jimmy Johnson equation, the draft equation of draft cash, so to speak, to trade up. Then you could trade all the way up to 4th by Jimmy Johnson's measurements. Okay, so if you went up to 4th, you would be looking for the next Tom Brady, right?
Hold on. Now, Tom called his dad on FaceTime when he was in Israel about Jimmy G, who was a second-round pick. Can you imagine? He gonna say, Daddy, you see what Bill did? He traded for a quarterback. Make him stop.
Well, that's fine. You can trade for the future. It could be 2 or 3 years down the road. I still think Brady's going to play 4 more years, but that's just me. But the problem's going to be you're still not replacing Brandon Cooks. You're not drafting anybody or acquiring anybody under this scenario because you're giving up a whole lot of firepower, a whole lot of your stockpile.
Coach Belichick said, I'm replacing the guy that I wanted to replace.
You wanted to replace him. Okay.
That's who I'm going to replace.
All right. So if you trade Gronk right now, what could you get? Could you get a first?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. First. He's damaged goods, man.
You know,
scary.
He's lost weight. He's training with Alex Guerrero.
Yeah.
I have no problem, Skip, because the strongest mind, the strongest muscle in an athlete's body is his mind.
All right.
Skip, it's not his hamstring. It doesn't matter that Alex Guerrero is not medically trained from Harvard or he doesn't have citations. It doesn't matter. Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski believes that he provides something for them. I just want Gronk to understand. You play a different position than Tom Brady. You need to lift weights. Now, Tom Brady says he don't need chest, and he doesn't. He doesn't need biceps. He doesn't need triceps. But you do.
He laughs at his biceps.
Yeah. I laugh at him, too. Yeah, I laugh at him, too.
Well, do you laugh at 505 in the Super Bowl?
I would do it at clapping that day.
Wouldn't you like to have some?
No!
Like your Denver quarterback throw for 505?
No.
Wouldn't John Elway have dreamed of throwing 505?
No, take the L.
Huh?
What I want to take that L for? I couldn't. I stayed over late for the Eagles. They were celebrating. Old Nick Foles came and put the trophy right up on the bar, Jordan. They gave me one of those hot doves on there for everybody.
They remembered that you picked against them?
Yeah. They say, Shady, we know you was on our side.
Deep down.
Deep down.
It's called CYA, as in covering your bases.
Yeah.
Right? Covering your bases.
Skip, I don't like the move because I don't see the replacement that's on the roster. Now, they had a receiver that played well. Say he caught like 35, 40 balls last year. And you can say, you know what? I can see him moving in, stepping in for Brandon Cook's position. But we don't. And do you think they can get a receiver at 23 in the draft that's going to give them production next year?
No.
I mean, this year, what Brandon gave them last year? No.
I don't think, unless I'm missing. DJ Moore is really good, the Maryland kid. I don't know if you're watching, but every time I turn on my TV, he leaped off my screen because he plays football fast.
Right.
So that would be the only one where I'd say maybe I would give it a shot. But you know how Tom Brady is with young receivers. It takes a while to get on his page and for him to trust them, and trusted Brandon Cooks.
Yes.
So, to me, back to the quarterback dilemma in New England. I don't think there is a dilemma because what do I see? I see Brady playing 3 or 4, I think 4 more years. I really like Brian Hoyer. He's still there. They got him for $915,000. Brian Hoyer is pretty good.
No, he's not.
Brian Hoyer started 37 NFL games.
Probably lost 30 of them.
No, he hasn't. He's 16 and 21. And for him to be playing all those bad teams and have won 16
because he's bad.
He is pretty good. He's thrown 42 touchdowns to 26 interceptions. That's not that bad. My point is, he started with Brady and Belichick in New England, right? For 3 years, he learned the Patriot way under the greatest quarterback teacher ever, Tom Brady.
What about the coach? You see what you did there, Skip? I saw what you did.
Yeah.
Oh, he learned from the greatest teacher, Tom Brady. Yeah. And you failed to mention.
You see what just happened with Jimmy G? You don't think he went to Brady school?
He went to Coach Belichick school.
Stop.
Oh, that Belichickian.
Yeah,
you got
he coaches the defense.
Machiavelli.
Tom coached the offense.
You got Machiavellian and you got Belichickian.
And they're very similar.
The Dark Prince.
Yes, that is correct. So, the point is, if Belichick wants to stay put with that 43rd overall pick, which is 11 picks into the second round,
high pick,
and he wants to take any of the next tier quarterbacks, Mason Rudolph, the Oklahoma State kid that Joel and I thought Joel Klatt's going to be on with us a little later, or that Kyle Laletta from Richmond, who I watched in Senior Bowl, and he's got some game, and that Luke Falk at Washington State, he's pretty good. Okay, if you take one of those because you think you got a diamond in the Jimmy G rough, that's fine with me. then you're looking down the road and you're going to develop a third quarterback. But you're set at quarterback. You're not set at receiver because Tom Brady needs some help.
Coach Belichick says, I'm not set. And you don't get to set Coach Belichick's agenda.
Yeah.
He knows what he needs. He needs a quarterback. And he's going to move up. He got the bait to go big.
Well, so you're saying he should? You think he should move up in the top 5 and get
You know to catch big fish, what you got to use.
Yeah.
You got to use big bait. And he got big bait now. 2 first rounders, 2 and a third.
So he's going to spend the bait with which he could lure a receiver on a quarterback that he does not need for 3 or 4 months.
Oh, he needed probably after next year.
After next year?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Last year,
After next
when
year.
Tom Brady won the regular season MVP and threw for 505 in the Super Bowl.
But I didn't think that Mr. Kraft would undercut my argument by doing what Coach Belichick and I had planned all along. Coach Belichick had this thing mapped out. He knew how he wanted to be, Skip. He doesn't want Tom Brady to all of a sudden retire or whatever happens, and he's left holding the bag. He wants something in the bag. He can't have the bag and then fumble the bag, Skip. Right now, he has the bag with Tom Brady. But if Tom Brady walks away tomorrow, then what? Brian Hoyer. You want me to go try to win Super Bowl 53 with Brian Hoyer? Really?
Well,
Yes.
I mean,
if
was
need
won
be,
by Nick
yes, you
Foles.
could. Yeah.
And
Nick Foles, Brian.
Skip Bailey. Don't you Skip Bailey. Put your hands down. You gonna talk about Nick Foles, Brian Hoyer? Nick Foles. You know what, Skip Bailey?
Which side of the mouth are you speaking out of? You told me that Nick Foles was just a backup, and I kept saying, no, he's not.
But
and trust me, Brian Hoyer is not just
hold on.
a backup.
What Pro Bowl Brian Hoyer you ever went to?
No, I've seen him play some really good regular season.
Yeah, I've seen him. Hold on. But he under 500, remember? That's what you love to point out. Now, when somebody's like under 500, you'll list that. How many games
Like
he played?
third cousins.
Oh, yeah. You list that under 500.
Yeah, 5 games under 500.
And what Brian Hoyer?
He's 5 games, 6 games under 500. But I'm not saying. Did he get what Kirk Cousins get? $100 million.
Brian Hoyer been on like 15 teams.
He has not.
Yeah.
He's been on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They're only 32. I mean, what are you trying to do?
and every one of them was bad. Every one of them was bad.
He was bad.
Yeah, no.
What team he made better?
Cleveland. He had some big wins at Cleveland. He did. Well, I'll never forget that Thursday night game at Cincinnati when Cincinnati was riding high. And Brian Hoyer just threw a party on him.
We have breaking news. The Ravens have agreed to a 1-year deal with Robert Griffin III. RG3 hasn't played since the 2016 season with the Browns. He tweeted a few minutes ago, #play like a Raven. Shannon, you played like a Raven.
Yeah.
What's your reaction?
You're speechless.
I'm really at a loss, guys.
Yeah.
I don't begrudge RG3. I'm happy that he got an opportunity. But we know Colin Kaepernick did not sign with the Ravens last year for non-football reasons. And for anyone in that organization to tell you otherwise would be disingenuous. They would be misspeaking the truth. So congratulations. Hopefully RG3 can stay healthy. But again, here's a guy that's not conventional. So you're going to have 2 offenses. And you know, Skip, there's only so much practice time. You don't really need 2 offenses. So I don't really, I'm just saying, I don't know, Skip. I don't know.
So to me, this feels like a rather pathetic response to the criticism this organization took for not signing Colin Kaepernick. Oh, well, we got Robert Griffin. And last seen in Cleveland, the Robert Griffin I used to know and love pre-draft, going back to the Luck draft, I couldn't recognize that guy in Cleveland. Could you? And after his knee injury, he just got worse and worse and worse, and he wanted to become a pocket passer. And Joe Flacco, RG3, I don't think they really belong in the same pocket.
And they still got Ryan Mallett.
Well,
I mean, if
he's a free agent, but they could have him.
I look, like I said, I don't begrudge RG3.
Neither do I.
An opportunity presents itself, you go try to take full advantage of it. But let's not pretend that Colin Kaepernick is not in the NFL for any other reason. Because the reason has been abundantly clear from the start. It has nothing to do
No doubt.
with his ability to play quarterback.
No
and that's
doubt.
what's a shame.
Yeah.
Sad.
And almost as sad as what's happened to Robert Griffin, so I hope he can rebuild his career.
With Metro PCS, you get fast, unlimited data, so you can share with no limits. Switch and enjoy a network that covers 99% of people in the U.S., like AT&T and Verizon for less. Metro PCS, wireless figured out.
Well, I hope you can stay healthy.
Hey guys, it's Joy Taylor. Before we get back to the show, I wanted to tell you about a new podcast that every baseball fan needs to download, the MLB Whip Around podcast, hosted by Kevin Burkhardt. The MLB Whip Around podcast features the best discussions from expert analysts like Alex Rodriguez, Dontrell Willis, and Frank Thomas, with new episodes 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. It's a one-stop shop for all your baseball needs. Subscribe and download for free today on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Now let's get back to Undisputed. The NFL draft is 3 weeks from tomorrow, and Joel Klatt has some big surprises in his newest mock draft. Joel has the Browns taking Sam Darnold number 1, and the Giants surprising everyone by taking Josh Allen number 2. Baker Mayfield then goes to the Jets, and the Browns take Saquon Barkley, and Josh Rosen falls all the way to 7th to the Bills. And we're joined now by Joel Klatt. Welcome, Joel.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good morning.
Let's talk about those big surprises.
Yeah.
Why do you have Allen going to the Giants and Rosen going to the Bills?
So two reasons. First and foremost, there's a New York Giants reason, and then there's going to be a reason between the two players. So first, let's talk about the Giants reason. I think it would be foolish to deny the natural longevity of quarterbacks, okay? Everyone's now talking about quarterbacks like everybody can play to 40 because of what Tom Brady is doing. Drew Brees. But as we all know, guys, that is not the norm. Okay, the rule is more that we're going to see a rapid decline of ability from a guy like Eli Manning, who turned 37 in January. All right, so that's the reason that they better be looking at a quarterback really, really tightly in that number 2 slot. So you start looking at some of the guys, and maybe it's Baker Mayfield, maybe it's Josh Allen, maybe it's Josh Rosen. If you're looking at Allen versus Rosen, I think there's a very clear distinction. Every one of these quarterbacks are going to have a red flag. They're going to have questions that you're going to have to answer. And it's much easier to answer for Josh Allen's question marks than it is Josh Rosen's question marks. Let me explain. Josh Allen, right now, the big knock on him is that he didn't have a high completion percentage. And who knows if that's going to translate. Does he throw with touch? Does he throw with accuracy? But you can look at his supporting cast, Shannon, and the wide receivers he was looking at, the wide receivers he was trying to throw to, the team around him, and say, listen, no one was going to throw for over 60% in that offense with that supporting cast. Meanwhile, the question mark for Josh Rosen is his durability. That's a major concern because Rosen's durability is born out of the way that he plays the position. He's got a mentality that he's going to stand in there, manipulate the pocket, maybe take a hit or two, and get the ball down the field. That's going to lead to bigger hits. That's going to lead to contact. It's going to lead to injury. That's a question I can't get over if I'm the New York Giants, and I cannot answer that in the affirmative. Therefore, I've got to lean towards Josh Allen with that big arm, the impressive pro day, the system that he came out of. Remember, he played for Craig Bull, who also groomed Carson Wentz, so you've got that type of tie with Wentz doing his thing in Philadelphia. Those are the reasons why I've got now the Giants selecting Josh Allen at number 2 in the draft.
Wow, I agree with you. Eli, I've seen nothing that I've seen from Eli over the last couple of years says that he's going to play well until he's 40.
Right.
So if you have an opportunity, Skip, you don't know when the next great quarterback, we don't know if these guys, but you don't know when these high-rated quarterback prospects are going to come along again. And hopefully, if they do come along, you're not going to be in position to draft one of them because you don't want to be drafting in the 2 slot or in the top 10 because that you want to be down, late 20s, 30s. Now you're doing good. You're in the playoffs. So the Giants don't know if they'll ever be in this situation again. And we keep talking about there might be 3 quarterbacks taken. Now, 99, Tim Couch, Donald McNabb, Achilles Smith. Really only one of those worked out.
Yep.
Then you got to go back to 71 with Jim Plunkett, Archie Manning, Dan Pastorini. So, 1, 2, 3 quarterbacks, you look at they like, woo, I agree with you. From what I saw with Sam Darnold, the way he threw that wet ball, because he could have easily skipped, that messes with a guy, because that's a big-time job interview. It's one thing to interview with a guy that knows, but when the CEO comes in, the CEO was sitting in the ring with the man's parents, and he put on a spectacular display of throwing the football. It's going to be hard for the Browns and that man, because he's easily persuaded. Skip.
Yeah.
Remember, Jimmy Haslam was in the room when the phone rang and Johnny Manziel told, let's go wreck the league together. Jimmy, I gotta take it.
The Dow Loggins. Yep.
Jimmy Haslam saw that sitting up in that ring with that umbrella. The man standing, he was getting wet, but the guy had pulled over for him. Sam Darnold going to the Browns.
I could not care less what Sam Darnold did in some workout in the rain. I don't care. I care about what the tape says because the tape does not lie. And for me, watching TV, in the end, it does not lie. You can see what you see and what you don't see. And I'm going to say it again. There is a chance that all four of these top-rated quarterbacks, 5 years from today, will look back on and say, yeah, like all four are flawed to me in very different ways, to the point that I'm not completely sold on any of them.
You don't see the 83 draft quarterbacks.
Heck
the Marinos, the Kellys, the Elways.
So I'm going to say it one more time about poor Sam Darnold, because he's a good kid. I really like him, and I think Cleveland's going to just fall in love with him as a kid because you've been around him. And he's really solid, and he really wants to do. He wants it so badly that I think he tries too hard to live up to his Heisman billing last year and take a team that you have made the case was not as good as predicted, sort of expected.
His supporting cast.
Yeah, but if you really, he just became an all-time turnover machine to me, because his interceptions went up from 9 to 13, his sacks went from 6 to 29. He led the nation with 8 lost fumbles after 5 lost fumbles the year before. Just so many turnovers that a lot of times, see Jameis Winston, it projects. And I'm just not sure about it. And if you throw him in as the first overall pick to Cleveland, and Hugh Jackson tries to prop him up in the starting lineup next year, it's just hard, man. And they've had a recent rough time with quarterbacks, and he's going to try to do more than he's capable of, and he's going to start throwing to the other team and getting it knocked out of his hands.
I don't believe any quarterback that goes with them with the first pick. I believe Tyrod Taylor will be the opening $6.
I hope they do.
Opening they started unless something happens.
And here's where it goes back to Haslam, right? Mm-hmm. Are you giving Hugh Jackson the runway to start Tyrod Taylor? Right? To develop the young quarterback. Because if he doesn't have the runway, maybe he's forcing the young kid in there, and that's the way he's trying to elongate his tenure with the Cleveland Browns. But I will tell you that history would suggest, I know it's a recent history, but history would suggest that we've had more, let's call them quote-unquote hits in the first round with quarterbacks in the last 3 years than we have failures. Take a look. We got Winston and Mariota. I think both of those organizations, maybe not saying, hey, those are home runs, but they're moving forward with those guys. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Then you've got
some issues going on. They both do, but go ahead.
Maybe not home runs, but solid NFL starters that they're building the franchise around. Then you got Goff, Wentz, and then maybe the only failure of this group, Paxton Lynch. So that happens, and then you got
say failure.
No question about it. And Denver, and then you got Trubisky, Mahomes, and Watson. Mahomes is going to get his chance. We'll see with Trubisky, and we're all in love with what Deshaun Watson was doing before he got.
I was in love with him before all this, before the draft.
So I say all that to tell you, I actually think that we'll be sitting here in 4 years and not going, but hey, 3 teams got their guy.
3 out of 4, so
somebody's going to be the odd man out. That's a tough question. If you're asking me right now which guy is going to be the best long-term quarterback in the NFL of these top-rated quarterbacks, I would say Mayfield. I'd say the guy that would be right on the outside, even though I have him number 2. Remember, this is a mock, not my own projections. I think Josh Allen is the 4th of those guys because I like Rosen more than Allen. I think his durability can be answered, but if you're the Giants, that's a tough pick. That's why these mocks are a lot different than what you're going to do. If I'm picking, I'm taking Mayfield, then Darnold, then I'm probably going to take Josh Rosen.
I'm telling you, the guy that goes to the right situations, let him sit for a year or 2, give me Lamar Jackson.
Okay, and you could be right about that. That's going to take 2 years. You're going to have to ease him into the fray because he's got a lot to try to figure out on the fly.
Boy, he's talented, isn't he?
Dream
and he
talent.
can spin the ball better than people give him credit for.
There's no doubt, and his accuracy certainly improved this last year under Bobby Petrino. Here's the one thing I'm worried about with Lamar Jackson. I'm glad you brought him up. I hope someone gets a hold of Lamar and says, listen, it's not a bad thing if you have to play a different position for a time. Let me explain.
I don't know.
Hold on. Let me explain. Would Cordell Stewart have ever been a starting quarterback in the league if he wasn't willing to be Slash first? Because he needed to develop out of Colorado. He was Slash for a time. They go to a Super Bowl, remember? Then he was the starting quarterback when you guys played him in the AFC Championship game in 1996. He was the starting quarterback. All I'm saying is, Lamar, you can get on a roster because you are supremely gifted. Allow that to happen, and then the development can take place. If you're just saying, no, I'm just a quarterback, Well, now I'm put into a bind here. Well, is he good enough to be our?
But if you would take, I don't know.
I'm planning on him being a quarterback, but I'm just saying he's good enough to be on my roster right now because of a lot of different factors.
Where are you projecting him? Late first, early second?
Absolutely, no doubt. Somewhere between Shannon. If I was saying somewhere between 26 and 41, those because I know I can put him on my roster. Right. He can be on the 53 while developing and continue to help my program win football games.
I'm going to say this one more time. All the stats of projecting their college production into pro football say that Baker Mayfield is by far the biggest slam dunk of all these 5 quarterbacks because his stats for a long time starts where he was starting as a freshman all the way to his senior year. If you look at the Q-base that Football Outsiders uses, it's got him off the charts. It's got him as an all-time top 10 projection into pro football because you know what the stats are. I always consider him high risk, but he's low mistakes.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, but Skip, normally quarterbacks that are really good, they don't stay long because he stayed so long. Because normally guys get good, they going after their sophomore year, their junior year. They're definitely not staying 4 years.
Well,
he was in the college like 5 or 6 years.
Broadway Baker.
I wouldn't want to play him in the division twice a year. I'm just saying that.
Yep.
Still thanks for joining.
You bet.
No mercy. LeBron and the Cavs took care of the East-leading Raptors last night, 112-106. LeBron continued his dominant play with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. Cavs now won 9 of 10, but LeBron still isn't sure about the state of the team. Take a listen.
This is what I've been telling you guys for a while now. We don't know. We don't know what we can become. We don't know. we have no idea. But right now we're playing good ball. We want to try to continue that, but we don't know what we can become. We have not been home all year for multiple reasons. We have never been home. So we don't know.
Shannon, what did you learn last night?
I learned last night, Skip Bayless, that only Genghis Khan has conquered more of the East than one LeBron James. And only the Joe and the Tang dynasties have lasted longer. He's getting up in that Grimaldi territory.
Wait, does that mean LeBron has the Mongol horde with him? Trampling everybody.
Yeah, just riding through. Yeah. And boy, he got that. Oh, now you know Cam. When Cam shows up, be that second option, Rodney Hook.
Dang. Cam made
I'm
4
so
3.
good. In that short point,
He made 3 3.
LeBron always tells me, look here, no matter what if I'm in trouble, I need somebody in them short porches. I need somebody on the porch. Left or right, it doesn't matter where you are, I just need somebody there because when all else fails, I'm coming out. He almost lost the ball, but he knew what Hood was going to be. Yeah, I'm going to dance up in this place, but I know y'all going to hate, so I ain't going to do nothing right now.
Really?
Yeah. So what you learned last night, Skip, this is what I know. LeBron is going to be LeBron come playoff time. If Kevin Love going to give me a little something, and Rodney Hood, oh, man, all starters. Double figures. All of them shot 50% from the floor. Because our bench was a little suspect last night, but that's okay. LeBron came out and said, I got this.
Wait, how about little LeBron? Jose Calderon.
Yeah,
How about little LeBron?
Hey,
See him?
every time he made I call him Jose Cuervo. Can I have a shot, Joy? Cuervo shot, Joy. I was feeling good.
He got that from one of his followers.
That sounds
like a
very...
follower.
Jose Cuervo gonna be Jose Calderon. He was at the 14 points in the fourth. I said it's over.
See, you got like 15 joke writers on
No.
Skip.
Skip, I really don't Skip. There was a time, Skip, I really wanted to be a stand-up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I be practicing on you and Joy sometimes. You know, when I'm home by myself, I'm like, okay, look, what if I can get this one in?
Yeah.
But Jose let that thing go right quick in the first. He's like, hey, LeBron had gone to him before the game and said, look here, remember you started your career off in Toronto. They ain't want you no more. So I'm going to go and think,
Who has a Jose Calderon as your backup point guard? Mine should be your starting point guard. I love it.
tell you, we don't know what we can be because we haven't been hold all year.
Yeah. He looked pretty whole to me.
No, I'm talking about he always good. He talking about as the team.
Yeah.
Love in and out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Tristan in and out of the lineup. Not George Hill's hurt. We just, Larry Nash Jr. was banged up a little bit.
Yeah.
JR been lunching most of the time.
He's been souping it.
oh, so now you got
I got jealous, but I come up with my own material.
You don't think I'm home, Skip? I got to be saying written down. Okay.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Thank you. As I said at the end of yesterday's show, last night was a critical psychological test for the visiting team because I don't have a lot of respect or trust in the visiting team, the Toronto Raptors. And I believe that last night they entered that game as a 1-point favorite in the King's house. And remember, they recently lost in the King's house, so if Vegas is saying you're a 1-point favorite, maybe you need to back it up and close the deal in the King's house to feel a little better about your chances because you came into the game 7.5 games up on the Cavaliers in the regular season standings. So you need to validate, right? Last night was a validation game. I think it was their most important game of the year.
Not tonight is.
Why? Back to back?
Well, no, they got the Celtics. The Celtics are catching.
Celtics are just devastated with it.
LeBron can only be the 3 seed.
But this was for psychological purposes because we know what's happened the last 2 playoffs. It was 4-2 LeBron 2 years ago, and it was 4-0 LeBron last year. So that means it's 8-2 LeBron over the last 2 playoffs, and it's 5-0 LeBron in the King's house against this team. And what happened right on schedule? Toronto turned right back into Toronto because its point guard, its all-star point guard, literally went south. Went way south. Went all the way to San Antonio. Went to San Antonio on Monday night. Did Kyle Lowry. Villanova alum? Give you that?
Proud Villanova alum.
Proud Villanova. Wait a second. You left your team to fly all the way to San Antonio before a critical psychological test at Cleveland the next night? I don't love it, but you better back it up, pal. That's what you better do. So help me out. What did Kyle Lowry do last night? What did your researcher tell you?
He made 2 for 11.
2 for 11. What was he from 3? 1 for 7. 1 for 7, and he scored a grand total. Kyle Lowry did against LeBron James and company 5 points. Wow, that's pathetic. In your biggest test of the year, your point guard, your all-star point, 4-time all-star point guard, scores 5 points. And I saw him on my TV the night before sitting in like the second row in San Antonio watching his Nova Wildcats win another championship. Way to go, Kyle. Way to go. This is so Toronto. This is it. It's not, I'm just laying it on the line because you can't do this. If this is important to you, if winning a championship in Toronto is as important to you as winning one with the Nova Wildcats, or at least watching one, participating in one, you need to actually be there in Cleveland the night before with your basketball.
But I thought they were north. Taylor North.
Yeah. Well, he went south.
The baby Donald North.
Yeah.
That's why I give him that name, Skip.
Yeah.
They already knew what LeBron was going to put foot to him.
Yeah. The beast of the East steps on that floor and shrinking the little baby dinosaur. They do. Little short arms.
Little Dino. Little Dino.
Little short arms. No wingspan. The wingspan shrinks to like this. They got little short.
You remember the Flintstones, right?
Do I?
That little pet they got, little Dino?
Yeah.
Guy like this? Okay. I see him right on up there in the north. Yeah. The north.
Yeah. And Dino's kind of not very smart, you know.
Yeah, but he ain't gonna do nothing. He harmless.
That's what I'm saying.
They're harmless.
House pets. They're house pets. Yeah, I got right there. No, I got it. So, Kyle Lowry says after the game to one of the Toronto papers, he says, I'm still a professional. I still come out here and do my job, says Kyle Lowry. What I did last night, which was Monday night, was support my team, Villanova.
Right.
I got back in time. I didn't miss nothing. I just missed some shots, said Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
Baloney. You missed some key moments with your team. You needed to get ready for this game, not ready for Monday night.
He was going to be in the hotel room anyway. They ain't know he was gone. Yeah. Just like I told you, remember Sunday? Because LeBron was at the concert with JT.
Yeah.
On them shots. You know, so he shot, but he got that triple double.
He got away with it.
You know, what was it?
What did he shoot? Like 5 for
21.
Yeah.
But he got triple double. So think about that. Let that sink in for a second.
Yeah.
He shot terrible. Gives you 50 something. I mean, Skip, the man last night, hold on. 8 of 14. Hold on. I know this man is flashing. I know he wasn't no 8 of 14 with 27. Yeah. He was 3 of 6 from the 3-point line.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you no, you didn't have your sound up.
No.
because they had Larry Nance Jr. mic'd up, so he's on the bench late in
What
the
were you
game,
doing?
and LeBron just bullies Siakam or somebody to the rim, just bullies him to the rim. And Larry Nance said, "You're not strong enough."
No.
You know, he's giving us the bicep.
oh.
You're not strong enough. They're not.
But did you see what
They're not mentally strong enough either.
Did you see what he did to C.J. Miles? He came down Jordan with a head of steam, ran slap over him, and set the ball on the floor. See, that's how you send the message, Skip. What you do for it, you pay for shipping and handling. That way you are sure he gets that message. Ran through it. I bet he ain't stepped back in front of him, did he, Skip? See, that's how you handle that. LeBron, y'all ain't gonna call the foul? Don't worry about it. Don't you worry about a thing, Mr. Ref. LeBron put that shoulder down into it. Get into it plus shipping and handling. He's sure to get it. Because sometimes, that's what Amazon came in. See, they don't charge you nothing for shipping.
So, Shannon, you're continuing to make my case.
What case?
The Eastern Conference is once again an all-time cakewalk for LeBron and company, and he's got some pretty good company around him now. He's got a team. He's got some help. He's got no more excuses. It's over, Shannon. The East is over. Now, I'm not saying the finals are over, but the East is over.
Why do you do this?
I'm doing what you're telling me to do.
What?
Well, what did you just tell me?
No. He is.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the issue?
I mean, but what?
We're in agreement. We're on the same page, and then you get cold feet.
No,
and then start to moonwalk.
No, there is no cold feet.
Yeah. It's that can't take the pressure of being the prohibitive favorite in the East.
Can I ask you a question, if you don't mind me asking? In the last 8 years, when has LeBron James' team not been the favorite? That's why they call him Genghis Khan.
Nobody calls him.
Yeah, they do it out what I call him. Yeah. You know how long the Joe and the Tang dynasty lasted? A long time. That's how long he reigned over the East.
You're mixing metaphors. You're sort of mixing history.
Yeah, but I'm saying the dynasty lasted a long period of time. His reign in the Eastern Conference has lasted a long period of time.
Yeah, it should.
Only Russell.
It should.
Only Russell.
Yeah.
Because
it's in the Eastern Conference.
No.
Ever since LeBron set foot in it. Yeah. And he's putting foot in it.
How about this here? Sometimes they're like, you from Florida. You know these are
He's not from Florida.
But she spent a lot of time. Yeah, you spent a lot of time in Florida. There are these problems they have with snakes. You know, the Florida they used to have. They had the lax ban, and you bring in these big old pythons, and people they got to where they couldn't have them. They let them go
in the Everglades.
Yeah. And they almost wiped out an endangered species because they have no natural predators. Yeah. That man right there, he got no natural predator in the East. So he reigns supreme.
So help me out. What's he in the finals now overall? What is it?
3-5.
3-5. So wait, he's got natural predators in the finals because the West is just eating him alive.
Can I ask you a question? When has he ever gone to the finals and his team's been the favorite?
I don't know. There's been a couple times.
Once.
I thought he was the best player on the planet. What's the problem?
Yeah, like Tom Brady. Tom Brady, the best player to ever play. And got smoked by a backup. Nick Foles. The Rams didn't want him. The Eagles didn't want him the first time. Kansas City didn't want him. And he came back and beat Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback to ever live. The greatest NFL player.
So wait a second. Tom Brady's played in, what are we up to now? 8 Super Bowls?
Yeah.
He's been the favorite, I'm pretty sure, the
all
last
of them.
7.
All of them.
Except for the first
all
one.
Of them.
Not the first one, not against the
second one. Except one. That's what all of them. The last 7, he's been the favorite. Yeah.
Okay. So why is that? He is the best player on the planet. You're saying LeBron is, but Vegas is saying we don't respect the best player.
No. That's not what Vegas is saying. Vegas saying LeBron doesn't have the best team. He is the best player. It's like Federer.
Wait, only 5 playing basketball and 22.
Whoa, don't do that. No. I'm not going to let you do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you do that. Oh, he's the best player. He got to bring them home. He got to bring them home. He had 2 opportunities, Joy, to bring them home. Hit him right in the hands.
That wasn't a
right in the hand.
Opportunity. It completely threw it right over his head.
Okay, how about this here? He had the ball in his hands on one play.
Yeah.
And what happened to him? He dropped the back. You can't bump the back.
Every once
in a while,
once in a while, the other team makes a great play, and Brandon Graham made a great play. He reached and knocked the ball out of.
How did little old Brandon Graham make a play against
little old Brandon Graham?
He ain't 300 pounds, but anyway, how does Brandon Graham? That ain't Reggie White. How does he make a play against the greatest?
He's in the ballpark with Reggie. He's up there.
Skip Bayless,
I'm starting. He is really.
I can't even enjoy. Can you believe Skip said that? Brandon Graham
best pass rusher in football.
Skip.
Well, who's that?
Skip.
I don't know.
Skip, it was so good. I would lead off, I throw to you, you come back. You ruined a perfectly good conversation. Conversation was, Joe, you ever had that happen?
Always.
I'm pretty sure you're the one that brought up Tom Brady.
No, he brought up Tom Brady because he's trying to minimize.
Dares to put LeBron James in the same sentence with Tom Brady, and you lost again.
No, he ain't in the same sentence. He's the front.
Yeah, wait.
Who?
Brady. I mean,
Oh,
Braun.
you said it right the first time.
Braun.
Braun.
I mean, think about it.
Brady. Yep.
TB12.
Yeah.
The King. TB12. Which found better? TB12 or the King?
Tom Brady had a better regular season at age 40 than LeBron is having at age 33. Yeah.
Don't do that again.
Well, one was the MVP, and
did he have a career? So what career high did Tom Brady fit in? Did he fit a career high in passing yards or touchdowns?
That's the playoff record for passing yards in a single playoff.
And what happened?
At age 40.
And his same thing what happened with LeBron. LeBron had a triple-double in the finals, took the L. I shut my restaurant down.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, 505 yards,
This is how
614 yards.
serious the Raptors are that we completely pivoted into Brady.
The baby dinosaur.
It's a joke. It's over. It's 4-0. And you know what? LeBron's going to sweep the playoff.
No, you're not.
With Metro PCS, you get fast, unlimited data. You can share with no limits. Quick, enjoy a network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. Like AT&T and Verizon for less. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out.
Stop.
No mercy. James Harden is the MVP favorite, and he could even be a unanimous pick. Even Kevin Durant agrees with that, telling USA Today that Harden is the MVP and it's not close. Durant was asked about LeBron finances and said, quote, I mean, LeBron is definitely playing great ball, but he added that Harden has had a way better year. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Eddie House. Welcome back, Eddie.
Thank you. Good morning.
Eddie, what does this tell you about Durant?
Nothing, but he just wants everybody to eat. It's not disrespectful to LeBron at all. To me, what it is he worked out with James. He grinded with James. James didn't get it last year. Russ got it last year. LeBron's had one. He's had one. Now it's time for somebody else to eat. He's not really. I mean, and James is having a better overall year. His team is playing better. Does he have a better team? I mean, he does have a better team. Well, I mean, still, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. He has a better team, and he still is doing what he's supposed to be doing. 40-2 when Harden, Paul, and Capella play. They're 40-2. I think LeBron and Kevin Love 35-21 when they on the floor together. So where's Kyrie Irving with the Cavs? Well, Kyrie, we ain't talking about Kyrie. We talking about LeBron James. And look, now LeBron is killing since February 1st. I mean, I haven't seen nobody play better ball since February 1st. I haven't seen anybody play better basketball in that stretch ever.
On one end of the floor. Well, I mean, the defense count anymore. Maybe they just
James Harden's a lockdown defender. He's not a lockdown defender. Neither one of them are a lockdown defender. The only one on that backdrop over there that's playing defense every night is KD. But he ain't in this discussion though.
In individual defensive rankings right now, James Harden is 44th in the league, which by his standards is pretty great. LeBron James is 310. 310? So LeBron he doesn't even play defense anymore. He didn't even think about it. At least James is playing the best defense of his career.
James
say that's not saying much, but
James is on a team that plays better defense. You got PJ Tucker, you got Trevor Ariza, and you got an All-NBA point guard in Chris Paul. Stop pretending like James Harden is playing defense. He's not. He gets a few.
I'm not pretending. He's averaging almost 2 steals a game.
I get what KD does. LeBron James is KD's greatest rival. Now LeBron James get 5 MVPs. First of all, KD ain't catching 4. But 5 would be just, I don't even really even know what to say. Plus, as you said, he's grinding with James Harden. He played 3 years with James Harden. That's my boy. But this time, if his turn, what are we, 7? And we're at the playground and it's his turn to get on the swing? That ain't how this works. This big boy stuff here, Skip. Yeah.
I agree.
And I get it, KD. That's your guy. You played with him. Hey, support him. Because if you ask me who should be Defensive Player of the Year, and I want another team, hey, Ray Lewis got to get that award. He's supposed to get it. That's how it works. You support your boy. You support family. And that's how he viewed James Harden. But we already know all that heavy lifting Bron been doing. We know. We know, Skip. You know, too. You hate to admit it. His 5th highest scoring total in his career in year 15. More assists, more rebounds in year 15 than any other stretch. And minus a 25, 4 and 4 guy who was an All-NBA, 5-time All-Star, Kyrie Irving, they're on pace to have a better record without Kyrie than they had with Kyrie. Thanks to who? 2-3 from the 3-3-0. I'm done with this.
So, did you happen to watch the game last night in the King's house? It was the Raptors or the Ruptures or whatever they're called. I don't know what they are. Baby dinosaurs who lead the Eastern Conference by far. They came into that game 8.5 up on Cleveland, right? Yeah. And it was just a joke of a game because it's a joke of a team because the Eastern Conference is a joke of a conference. So how can you make any case for LeBron dominating the Eastern Conference? Because for what James Harden did, and obviously he got a little more help with CP3, although CP3 has missed 24 games. That's a lot of
How many games has Kevin Love missed?
I don't know. I don't really care in the East because I see this team, the Houston Rockets, are 63 and 15 in the best West, and it is the best. It is loaded.
But did you think?
You see what's happening at the bottom of the Western playoffs right now? They're just fighting. And with Clippers and Nuggets are just fighting.
What? Okay, now I'm glad you brought that up. That bottom. Did you see what we did to the bottom? Minnesota, Thunder.
Yeah.
Who else at the bottom? The Nuggets. You see what we've been doing to them?
That's after the trade deadline, which required lots of help. Lots of help.
LeBron didn't have no help in here.
Hey, LeBron gonna do what he does, man. He does it every year. He's just doing it at a way different pace right now on the offensive end. Unbelievable on the offensive end. You would never think somebody in their 15th year. I mean, because he's dunking on cats now. He wasn't dunking on
body bag nurse.
Yeah. Off that one leg, he put off the rebound. He's just dunking on cats. He's playing so much better.
Wait, Dwayne Wade must have put LeBron on life support because he blocked his shot twice.
Hey, Dwayne
Wade is the best shot blocking guard in history.
He is.
So you got to give him that. Give him that credit.
You remember Quincy?
I didn't like it, but I know what it was.
Yeah, they called him. Yeah. They found out what happened to Nurkic.
Did they?
Yeah. They had a knee in the chest.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, left his print on it. Yeah, had Bron DNA. Had Bron DNA in the chest. That's how they found out who did body bags.
Yeah. Also, for MVP, winning is taken into consideration, and by far, Houston is the best team. So that's going to be taken into consideration.
Oh, yeah.
His numbers are up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a higher. He's making it a tough argument, though. LeBron, his last few months, is making a case, but I don't think he's going to pass it.
Do you remember those 19 games starting with Christmas Day? What happened to LeBron James? His plus-minus plummeted over a 19-game stretch. That's about a quarter of a season. Look, Eddie, it's a stat.
But it's a weak
stat.
Wait
a second. His plus-minus plummeted to the bottom of the NBA. He fell to minus 147. It was the worst of 518 players. This counts in your body of work for this year.
He was playing in his point guard, and his point guard needed a walker. Where's the point guard that was playing alongside him doing that 19-game stretch? Where's that point guard?
He was on the floor last night. Jose Calderon. He's really good.
Stop playing, Skip.
I like him.
When Jose Calderon started, they're like he's solid. No. The point guard I'm talking about during that 19-game stretch that he's talking about is Isaiah Thomas. He's probably at the Stedman Hawkins clinic getting that hip scope. But see, you don't want to talk about that, Skip Bayless. The man had a walker, and you expected LeBron James to pull that to the finals.
Best player on the planet. That's what you tell me, right?
Yeah.
So back, you know what? Here's the point. Back to Kevin Durant. You know what he was saying? What he just said? I ain't afraid of no king. That's what he's saying. He just put it right in LeBron's face.
You know how he said that? And he went join the three best players in the West. That's how he said it. Because when he was with OKC, LeBron ran through him like Sherman went through Georgia.
Well,
60-mile pass.
I guess Kevin Durant turned into Sherman last year in the finals, didn't he? Because, boy, he took over.
After Draymond was crying in the shower, 79-3 up 3-1. And Kevin, he did it. What's wrong with you, Draymond? LeBron, what he do? He dropped the triple-double and they won the title.
No, you're right. So the best player on the planet did win to Oakland and save Draymond.
Kevin Durant is not a better player than LeBron James.
No, he just is.
No.
He just is. I'm sorry, he just is.
Everybody,
What do you call him? That 7-foot monster?
Yeah.
He's just taller than LeBron. He's longer than LeBron. He's a way better shooter than LeBron.
he's a way better scorer than LeBron.
Yeah.
But he ain't a better player.
Fourth in the league in block shots. That'll work.
LeBron a better rebounder, a better passer, averaging more points. I mean, why you talking that he a better scorer? They have the exact same career average scoring the basketball. 27 points. For a guy that's not a scorer.
I got to tell you, he's a natural scorer.
Yeah.
KD a natural killer. And shots, a shot. He finds like this. Right in LeBron's face. Just pulled right
So
in
that
his
makes him
face.
the best player.
Yeah, and you know what? That comment was shot right in LeBron's face yesterday. That's what he was saying. Because they said, was it even close? He said, not even close. Not even close. What I said.
Well, how about this? I'll put it to you like this. If he put it like that, I'm going to put it to you like this. If he said it's not even close, well, the distance between the beard, James Harden, and LeBron is the same distance to LeBron to Kevin Durant. How about that? I'll give it to you like that, Skip. I got receipts, too.
You realize you start off your comments by saying that LeBron is KD's biggest rival, so you got it. No. My way.
I say KD views LeBron like that. LeBron is looking at Mount Rushmore.
I thought he wouldn't have a rival.
I don't Skip. LeBron James, no, I'm saying that's like Kevin Durant views him. LeBron is on Mount Rushmore. Why would a president that's on money worry about a president that's broke? I'm already here, Skip.
Kevin Durant made 14 of 14 free throws last night. That would work. And he respects
He shot 9 of 20. He shot 25 times.
Okay? That will work, and that's why he respects James Harden, who's making 86% of his free throws compared to LeBron's 73%. That's a lot of points.
What LeBron do got to get that up? Yes,
He's got to get that out. Got to get it up.
Got to get it up. Who do you think you shoot better from the 3-point line? James Harden or LeBron James?
Yeah, I'm talking about free throws. That's free money right there. And you're going to be on the line at the end of the game. Can't shoot 72%.
Hey, when they put him on there, you saw the game the last couple of weeks when they put him on the line. What he been doing, Eddie? He's not see already. I don't worry about LeBron James. He done been there. Battle tested, Skip, baby.
You want to double down on your bet?
No.
You're going to shoot 80%?
No.
That's what he said.
There's no way.
No, he can't shoot 80%. He ain't get
Triple
there.
down on it. I'll give you a chance to win your money back. Double or nothing.
Next year.
Okay, I'll do it right now. I'll bet you right now. We do it? Yeah. Okay, we got it. We have a future bet of 3 cases of Diet Mountain Dew. The next year, thank you very much. I'll be well.
Because every year is to come. What did he do? What we've seen from him over the last couple of years, he increased his career average in some aspect. Okay. Be it field goal percentage, be it assist, be it rebound. What's next? He's going to be
So it is 6
Tell his body that. Tell his body that. Body don't look like it. It don't look like it. You would feel.
I buy that, but he has
That
15 years to 6 years. We got to count for it.
Well, yeah, that would work. Hey,
Seriously, got to. You got it.
yeah.
Well, look at that body.
Well, maybe you go to Alex Durant. Yeah.
Maybe Kevin Durant needs a little fiber.
No, Kevin Durant.
Huh? Well, he does. Am I right?
Look at Ron.
Look at Kevin Durant.
Hey. I love watching guys play.
That's a good point.
He's bad dude. He's a bad man. But they don't do a They don't do with that beard. That dude with that beard.
Harden, that's the MVP.
Stop
The
please.
dude with the beard.
LeBron.
So,
LeBron got that
so
beard.
I got to close this case with the stat that Eddie hates the most, plus minus.
Oh, that's the weakest stat.
Yeah, it is.
James Harden right now is a plus 497 for the year. That's outrageously great. And LeBron has creeped back up over the 0 point. He's now plus 53. So it's 497 to 53. The case is closed. And Kevin Durant just saying,
Can I ask you a question? Well, if LeBron James was on the Houston Rockets and you switch roles with him, would James Harden have the Cleveland Cavaliers with a better record, or would they be worse with LeBron in Houston?
the Cavaliers have a better record right now. They get to play in the East. Would James Harden have
still get his money? James will still get his money. I don't think there will be no drop off. Not a huge drop off.
Yeah, there's no.
It wouldn't be a huge drop off.
LeBron James had
LeBron is not that type of player for that system. That system is for threes, free flowing. LeBron dominate the ball, slow the game down. That ain't Mike D'Antoni's system.
Who is 4th and 3 made? 14 that don't shoot the 3. We had guys that couldn't make the 3. We got Jay Crowder. We thought he could make the three. He made them in Boston.
Boy, I'm making them now.
Yeah, good. We got Rodney Hood. We take Rodney Hood all day. And plus we got Clarkson. So we good. Corbin gonna come back.
Your team is loaded, especially for the East. It's loaded, man. It's over.
Eddie, you know these are role
cakewalk. Oh, now they're role players.
Wait a second. You shut the excuse machine down at the trade deadline. You said it. You were done with the excuses. You were hype up of all the trades.
Hold on.
Wait.
Now all of a sudden they're role players.
Wait, you're glowing.
But they did get better.
You're glowing about we got Hood, we got we got Clarkson, and then you say they're role players.
Remember that?
Eddie, what have they been? No guy that they picked up has ever been anything other than a third or fourth option at best.
I like them all.
Okay,
They're dead-eye shooters, all of them. LeBron's got it made. In the East, it's over.
Houston, they got Chris Paul. Right. The Warriors last year got Kevin Durant. We get Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr., Rodney Hood. Oh, that boy can't load it.
You got to talk to the people upstairs.
We
tell them bring some talent over here.
We good.
You got George Hill.
But they're a good team. I like what Cleveland doing.
Does Kevin Love still play for the Cavs?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He came back and changed everything.
Hey, Kevin wears it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I love
You don't even mention Kevin Love.
But come on now, Kevin missed like 30 something.
Here we go. No mercy. We are one day away from the first round of the Masters, and all eyes are on Tiger Woods. His caddy, Joe LaCava, told ESPN that Tiger has been nicer to fans this week, and Tiger even practiced with his old rival, Phil Mickelson, yesterday for the first time in about 20 years. Tiger said about Mickelson, quote, "Our friendship has gotten stronger over the years," while Mickelson said Tiger was, quote, "very enjoyable to be around." You remember Rob Parker?
Kind of like me when I'm hanging out with you guys.
Oh, yeah. It's lovely.
Kind of.
Welcome, Rob. Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you like the new Tiger better than the old Tiger?
Not at all. The Tiger Woods I remember was cocky and arrogant, didn't have time for anybody, was so focused in on golf, people didn't matter, right? This is a fake Tiger, only because he's been humbled, and now he's got to be, when you haven't won in 5 years and haven't won a major in a decade, you're humbled to this point. Now you got to be nice. Now you're palling around with Phil Mickelson, who used to be your rival, right? And all that. This isn't a Tiger. I remember the fist pumps and the pumped up muscles and walking around. Everybody else on the golf course has a paunch and eating and everything. And Tiger, that's true, right?
It was in his breakthrough years in 97, 98.
It was totally changed everything in the way we looked at golf. And it's hard for me to, get with Tiger even now, because he cost me a marriage when he in 97.
That was your fault.
No, I mean, here I am watching the Masters in awe.
You on your honeymoon.
On my honeymoon and
Masters.
Rob, I think it was ill-fated. Was it ill-fated?
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with Tiger. But I'm not all in on this Tiger. I like the old Tiger. I get America. We're into redemption and a chance to people. The TV ratings are through the roof. I get it. They think and smell like maybe Tiger's going to win, and this will be the start of something special here. But I like the old Tiger. And this one I think is fake.
I agree with everything you just said, Rob. And it's easy to be humble when you're at the bottom. And it's like when you don't have anything, and I'm just speaking from the perspective of being a broken golfer. He hadn't won anything in a long time, hadn't won a major in 10 years, over a decade. It's easy, Skip, to be nice. Let's see when he starts winning again. If he were to win a Masters again, because when he was winning before, he gave this many ZFs. That's what he did. Tiger gave you his butt to kiss. Tiger was a jerk. He was MFing and swearing all over the golf course because he was the guy. He was the man that they were coming to see. And so now all of a sudden he wanted to have us to believe, humanity and what can coexist. Bull jive, Tiger. You don't believe that one bit. And I get it. Everybody feel like they piled on Tiger long enough and they beaten him down enough, so let him come back. All of a sudden, now him and Phil buddy. There was a time they couldn't be in the same state. And the only time they were in the same state, they were playing a major. They were playing a big golf tournament.
They were forced into a twosome together.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, now they buddy. Really? Look, we've been fighting for 20 years, duking it out on the golf course, and now we all chummy. For real? Nah. Man, Tiger, man, you missed me with this foolishness.
So are you saying Tigers can't change their strike?
No.
Ooh, that's very nice.
Hey,
like that.
That's not what old girl say.
She's not only pretty, but she's smart.
What old girl say?
I didn't write that down like Shannon does for his joke.
Hey, what old girl say? Say he out there on the prowl, but out on the golf course. Skip. That's what she says. Skip. I ain't got nothing to do with this. Yeah, they said, cat got patty paws.
So I am with what Rory McIlroy said when he looked up on the practice range yesterday and saw Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson palling around before their practice round that they had agreed to play together. He said, I never thought I would see the day, and I didn't either until now. And I never thought I would see Tiger flip from that scandalous figure to the most beloved man in golf.
Yeah.
He's the most beloved man. Trust me, he may be becoming one of the most beloved figures in sports as a sympathetic figure. And yet all of his competitors have gone from fearing Tiger to rooting for Tiger. And it's starting to feel like, to me, that the whole field wants Tiger to win this Masters. Because they all realized in his absence that he isn't just good for the popularity of golf, he is great for the popularity of golf and for all of their bank accounts.
Exactly.
I agree.
Everything. So subliminally, it's like they're going to throw this Masters to Tiger Woods. Like they're again, golf is so complicated because it's man to man, and it's not a team sport at all. But it's like in their heads, they're kind of conceding that they want Tiger to play well, and you almost feel like if it came down to Sunday, that whoever was in contention would kind of back off and gear down a notch just to make sure that he had the opening to break through and win another major.
But what does that tell you about the state of golf? That's where we are.
But let me ask you this. Let's just say for the sake of argument, Tiger Woods had never gone through this scandal, and he was saying like 18, 19 majors. Do you think Tiger Woods would be this?
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. All I know is what has happened, and Phil Mickelson realizes how important Tiger was for his popularity. He needed the foil figure that was Tiger. He was actually the foil figure for Tiger, but they fed off each other. So now they've kind of made peace with each other because they're good for each other. And I do believe in Tiger's heart of hearts, he does have a heart, that he did appreciate that Phil was trying to hang in with him through the dark days, through that terrible the last 3 years, the period of injuries, and where he was sort of an outcast from golf. He said that Phil kept texting him and kind of hung in with him, and was it genuine? I have no idea.
Skip, it makes it easy for people to stay away from you. When you give people your butt to kiss, at your lowest moment, you expect me to come in and ride to your rescue when you giving me your butt to kiss for 15 years. Now you at your lowest moment, Shay, you down low, got some dirt for you. Pour on you. I commend Phil, because you ain't finna treat me any kind of way, and then they had, you okay, You okay, Tiger?
They always say about treating people a certain way, so that on your way down, that those people remember how you treated them.
That's my grandma used to say, boys, be careful. The toes you step on today, Skip, might be connected to the foot, that lead to the leg, that's connected to the butt. You got to kiss tomorrow. She told me that long time ago.
You should have wrote a book.
She should have. I might write it. My sister won't let me write a book on them saying
You should write a book.
But Skip, so think about that. Think about all the people Tiger gave first. I've been here since 97, so we're talking about 21 years. So let's go back 19 years. All the people on the golf course and around the golf that's involved in golf, that Tiger Woods gave his butt to kiss. How rude he was. Had Steve Williams snatching cameras and throwing stuff down. People taking a picture of him. Think about all the time. Now all of a sudden, he want me to be sympathetic for him because he's changed. Man, I wish
now he want to take selfies with people.
Yeah, right? If he wins, I'm gonna be happy for him. But I'm not buying this, Skip.
Yeah,
I'm not buying this.
I haven't seen anything like this turnaround for an individual since George Foreman, and we go back far. You remember George Foreman? Because as a boxer in his early days, up to the Ali, the Rumble in the Jungle, he was seen by the media as this brooding, hulking, distant figure. This
and became a lovable that little what was that grill or what?
George Foreman grill. But the Meineke muffler, Skip. That's what he was like. They're like George, a big old teddy bear. Dude was knocking people out the ring, almost killed Frazier. He almost killed Joe Frazier.
He almost killed him, and Ali's camp was afraid he was going to kill Ali. Literally kill him inside.
He became this unbelievably lovable figure that everybody loved.
Because Ali rope-a-doped him in Zaire, and all of a sudden he changed, and then he became a preacher, and he had a bunch of kids all named George, and then he became this fun guy who sold $1 billion George Foreman grill, right?
Yeah. You know, who was the wrestler they offered it to first?
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan got offered that grill first and turned it down. Can you imagine?
Like, I mean, think about it. George Foreman grill, the Hulk Hogan grill.
No, but I'm just saying.
I had a bunch. I had a little one, had a big one, had one bigger than
everybody had three.
I think I might still have one.
Right? Well, next up is the Tiger Woods grill. Hi, I'm Tiger Woods.
Tiger
Huh? We're going there.
Only thing Tiger grill is dating service.
I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry. I didn't do well with that. Look, this scandal happened almost 10 years ago. People change. You get older. You get wiser. Maybe he actually has been humbled.
Yeah. No, we believe he's been humble. I don't think he's made a change because this is who he is. I'm with Shannon. He wins. He goes back to what he used to be.
Well, we may see.
Yeah. You know, I don't know about that. I'll believe it when I see it.
Rob.
I do have faith in you guys. I have zero faith in Tiger.
And another example of that is Mike Tyson.
Good one. Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about a dramatic turnaround?
Yeah.
In one of his shows, is in movies.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us.
Always.
No mercy. Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then. Flat. Four. One.